Happy weekend, ladies and gents, from Kelly's on Main Street, Hyannis, your go-to destination for all your game day libations. And this is the Free Reign Sports Press presents Gamblin' Ramblins with Mike Gannon, ensuring both your kneecaps and your bankrolls don't get broke this NFL season. I am your host, Wesley Sykes, and the man laughing to my left is Mike Gannon. Mike, how you doing today?
Not bad, Wes. Not bad. Good to see you.
Yeah, happy to be here on a rainy Friday afternoon. We're both doing pretty well after going 3-1 last week. I bumped my record up to 4-4 on the season. You're at a robust 6-2. We both kind of sweated out a few picks last week, but how'd you feel about your performance overall?
Yeah, not bad last week. Everything kind of went the way that I thought, obviously, but except until Tampa, Bucks covering the whole game, and that's one that we were sweating out, and unfortunately came on the losing end of that one. With Tampa Bay letting the great Ryan Mallett come right down and score a touchdown towards the end to blow up that spread on me. Yeah. But besides that, and I texted you early too, gave you a little jab saying you're not looking too good starting out. But a couple of your teams turned it around, Atlanta.
Thank God Atlanta pulled it out. I would still be hearing some stuff about that all week long.
But unfortunately the Jets got you. Tampa got me. I'll be talking about Tampa a little later in the show, and hopefully we can get back at it and do another 3-1. Listen, I'll take 6-2. What's the old saying in gambling? It's like 51% makes you money. So
absolutely, I'm looking to go 4-0 this week. Pick up a couple games and see if we can't pull ahead at an even square. I don't know. Yeah. Pull back from those two games.
Don't count on it.
We'll see. But, no Patriots this week, so we're going to give you a little something different with our upset special. We'll get to that sooner rather than later. But our first game this week is Houston at Atlanta -7. This was a team that was my stone cold lock of the week, and they came through despite a few first-half problems against the Dallas Cowboys, but facing a little different foe from Texas and the Houston Texans. At home, I got a good feeling about this. They came from behind in their last two games on the road. Matty Ice seems to be returning to form that we all expect. Julio Jones, a little banged up. He's got a toe, he's got a hamstring, but he's on a record-setting pace this season. Another guy like Devontae Freeman, if you play those DraftKings, those daily fantasy leagues, he came through big for you with 3 touchdowns on the day against that Dallas defense. I expect them to keep feeding him the ball, maybe take a little bit off of Julio Jones, where he has been getting so much attention, so much work through these first 3 games. Little fact, though, Houston is 18th against the run, giving up just under 110 yards per game. So I think that's a good recipe for success. It's staying within the NFC South. We're going to your first pick of the week. The Bucs kind of screwed you last week. You're going against them this week with Carolina facing Tampa Bay on the road -3. Cam Newton 3-0. Wouldn't have expected that coming into this season with their lack of weapons on offense. But so far Cam Newton seemed to be getting it done. What do you like about the Panthers this week?
Well, exactly. I mean, that's what I like about the Panthers this week is Cam Newton. Nothing flashy so far. No gaudy stats. No, anything like that. But he's kind of put this team on his back, and he's doing the job. He's getting it done for them. New Orleans isn't what they have been in the past, but that was a huge win for them right there, and that, getting that confidence going. And it's ironic when I saw that they were playing Tampa this week. I say, people are going to say, he's got screwed last week, as you said, by Tampa, so he's going to go against them. And you know what? That's partly true because, I watched the game last week. And Winston, up, down. He went down again last week. He had many chances to make a couple of plays, make a few plays last week to finish that off, and couldn't do it.
My second pick of the week. Again, I'm going to be playing with a lot of points, so I hope for some big covers this week. It's going to be the Minnesota Vikings at the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are giving 7 points at home, and I'm picking this game not because of Peyton Manning and their what should be a high-powered offense, but for their defense. In fact, the top-ranked defense in the league, both in passing, 6th against the run, 1st overall. That's my big reason for it. Adrian Peterson has a bit of a resurgence this year, a little earlier than I expected, but I don't see it happening against this vaunted pass rush, this front seven. You got to talk about Brandon Marshall, you talk about DeMarcus Ware, Von Miller as their linebacking core, Danny Trevathan, another guy as well. I don't see them getting to that second level. And if Teddy Bridgewater does want to pass the ball to that underrated, I don't know, maybe a lackluster receiving core, you have, who are the two? Chris Harris Jr. and Aqib Talib back there as well. Probably one of the better cornerback tandems in the NFL. And if Peyton Manning can just hold on to the ball and let those ducks fly. Ducks fly together. Emilio Estevez told me that in the Mighty Ducks. So I got nothing. I feel pretty good about this pick. I almost had it as my Stone Cold Lock of the week. Now on to Mike's second pick of the week. He has the Kansas City Chiefs at the Cincinnati Bengals, with the Bengals giving 4 points. Now, Kansas City, on paper, has all the right pieces in place. They have a good defense, pretty good receiving core, a top running back, and a guy who can handle the football, and Alex Smith. So, I'm a little bit surprised that they stumble out of the gates this early. But, Mike, you like Cincinnati.
Yeah, as we were just talking about Atlanta with your pick, this is what I was going to mention about Cincy. Is this a year that they finally kind of turn it around? We talked about Atlanta needing to get some big road wins, and Cincinnati doing the same. And luckily for us, with our picks anyway, that they've come through. Mm-hmm. But, just forget about the picks now, talk about football. Cincinnati's been another team that's been talked about year after year after year. Gave Dalton all that money, and Marvin Lewis still there. That defense, this and that. They haven't got it done. They haven't been able to get it done. But a couple of big wins. Dalton did look good last week. I thought that was pretty gutsy by him.
Sure, yeah,
to come back. In that fourth quarter, it was a solid fourth quarter. They let it slip away a little bit, but to keep fighting and coming back and actually getting over that hurdle of beating Baltimore, their division rival. I think that was huge for them. And then on the other side of the ball, KC just not impressive.
But as we mentioned, there is no Patriots game this week. They are, of course, on the bye, so I think we could even just give them a win on the bye. I think there's one of those teams that always wins. But into our upset special of the week, in place of that Patriots game, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars +9 on the road against the Indianapolis Colts. I got to be honest, I don't feel extremely confident about this game. The one thing that I'm really banking on is no Andrew Luck. He's listed as questionable coming into the weekend with a right shoulder injury, and that's the only thing that I'm really banking on. And if you're a Patriots fan and you follow Sports Talk Radio or some of the local shows around here, you heard all last week about Bill Belichick talking about how tough of a team this Jacksonville Jaguars are. And now, I think it's going to be a soft, good team in the Indianapolis Colts against a tough, bad team in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Division rival, so that kind of plays up the game a little bit more. But that's really all I'm going on this. 9 points is a lot to cover. They may not win, but I think they could keep it within 9 points, especially if Andrew Luck isn't in this game.
Well, listen, we also said, I actually said, last week that Jacksonville might be able to hang around for 13.5 points, and how did that work out for me?
Not very well. No.
We still took the Pats, obviously, but it was just a kind of a take, a hot take.
A hot take,
say,
yeah. It's a little business talk, sure.
Yeah. But listen, with these upset specials, that's the point. To reach out and try and grab something that you might think. I just chuckled a little bit when you said it, just because it's Jacksonville, So, but like you said, you never know. And if Luck's out of the game, or if he's only at 70%, he gets one good whack and then he gets taken out of the game. Anything can happen.
That's all I'm hoping for, is that phrase that you said right there. Anything can happen. Maybe feed TJ Yeldon the ball a little bit, because we know Indy can't defend against the run at all. So that's the only thing I'm really hoping for. I actually really like your upset special of the week here. You have the New York Giants getting 5 points on the road. Is it to the Buffalo Bills?
Yep. I went with this one. I looked at a couple other ones, but Basically, I'm going to use my line that I use all the time. It's just kind of not based on too much other than a hunch and other than just not buying into the Buffalo Bills yet. I don't care what they did last week. Again, a lot of people thought Miami was finally going to turn the corner. Sure. And right now, Miami is terrible. So it does not give me any great confidence that because of what the Bills did to Miami last week, that all of a sudden they're this team. So the Giants, we've made fun of them in the past, yeah. Eli and Coughlin, but in this particular spot, they are a legit franchise.
Well, now it comes time to our favorite portion of the segment, and that is the Stone Cold Lock of the Week. Onto my Stone Cold Lock of the Week, it is Green Bay giving 9.5 points on the road to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, Colin Kaepernick is 3-0 lifetime against the Green Bay Packers, throwing for over 300 yards and rushing for 100 yards. That's pretty astronomical numbers when you think about it, but this is not your little brother's 49ers. This is a team that's in complete disarray. The Green Bay Packers, as we just mentioned, Aaron Rodgers is the only quarterback in this league who's playing on the same level as Tom Brady right now. You talk about 1 and 1A about who's the best quarterback in the league. This guy is just otherworldly. And speaking of that offense, that team just continually plugs in players who kind of steps up to the plate. They lose Jordy Nelson, you have Devontae Adams step up. You lose Devontae Adams, you have James Jones step up. Ty Montgomery, Eddie Lacy goes down. You have James Starks, a nice veteran guy who can come in there and handle the workload. So it's a plug-and-play system that works out very well. And this defense has a nose for the ball. They have 6 takeaways for Green Bay and then 6 turnovers, conversely, for the 49ers, as we saw last week against your Arizona Cardinals. Back-to-back pick sixes for Colin Kaepernick. So I'm playing huge on the Green Bay Packers. I picked up their defense in my fantasy team, so I'm expecting a little bit of magic there as well. But that's my big thing about it. And their average margin of victory I have jotted down here is 9.3 this year. That's close enough to that spread where I feel comfortable enough in taking that many points or losing that many points. It's kind of a ballsy one here. You have the Oakland Raiders favored for the first time since 2013. That's 27 games on the road against the Chicago Bears.
Well, we just mentioned it a little bit right there. I'll say the same thing I said last week. I mean, there's just I just cannot see the Bears beating anybody right now.
Not with Jimmy Clausen at quarterback.
No, definitely not. So, what I wrote down in my notes here is, they're playing the Bears. Enough said.
That's it. Take it to the bank.
Yeah. That's it. Take it right to the bank. But, a couple of things, though, is that, the Raiders, they give up a lot of yards. The NFL worst right now, 414 yards. Mm-hmm. But, again, is Jimmy Clausen going to be able to do that to them?
And no Alshon Jeffrey either.
I know. Again, 146 yards in offense last week and no scores. So I will take my chance with the upstart Oakland Raiders. Sure. Amari Cooper is, turning out to be everything everyone thought he was going to be. Yep. He is a beast. He really is. Latavius Murray is running good. And we talked about this earlier in one of our shows. Derek Carr.
Yeah. Really
playing well, and just doing what they have to do. So I think if the defense can just step up, do what they need to do against a Chicago team led by Jimmy Clausen, I think the Raiders can put enough points on the board to cover that spread.
But that just about does it for Week 4 of Gamblin' Ramblins with Mike Gannon. We hope to see you down Sunday, and as always, we give Mike Gannon the final word of the day.
Yeah, I mean, Patriots bye week this week, but still, don't let that deter you. Get down here to Kelly's. We are rolling out a new menu this week. We have some great specials for the games as well, even though the Pats aren't playing. It's for all football games. We do have our for entertainment purposes only squares going as well, and that will go for next week's game, so you got plenty of time to come in and get those. And yeah, so come on down and on Sunday, and we'll have a little bit of fun and watch some out-of-town games since the boys won't be playing this weekend.
Absolutely. A new menu rolling out. I hope those short rib nachos are staying on. Please tell me that's happening.
Definitely. You can't take those off.
Absolutely. Well, for Mike Gannon, I am Wesley Sykes, and may the odds and the football gods be ever in your favor.